All right, we're here with Mr. Brad Evans today, the number one floor guy in all of St. Louis, right?
Thank you. Yes, sir.
If you don't know about Brad, you need to and give him a call if you need any hardwood refinishing or what do you all do? Tell everybody.
So we do hardwood refinishing is probably our bread and butter.
Yeah.
We do hardwood installs, engineered, laminate, and vinyl plank.
Yeah.
Right.
We stick with what we know. We don't mess with carpet. We don't mess with tile. None of that stuff. We just stick with what we're good at.
You're very good at it, man. You've done several of our houses, and they
Thank
all
you.
turn out great. So
Yeah, we're happy with all of them. That's for sure.
So Brad is not only a successful business owner, but he owns several rental properties too.
Yep.
And we're a real estate investing podcast. So we love talking business with people and talking real estate, man. So Brad's also got a really great story. He's going to share a little bit about where he started and where you're at today. So Brad, if you want, take the mic and tell everybody a little bit about where you started and how you got here, man.
Cool. I peg myself Brad the Floor Guy. So, I mean, if you meet me and I don't introduce myself as Brad the Floor Guy within 5 minutes, I'm not doing my job. So everywhere I go, it doesn't matter who I talk to. If I have a 5-minute conversation with you, I let you know that, hey, I do hardwood.
Didn't you get a Blues jersey signed, Brad the Floor Guy or something?
I gave John Hamm, I snuck into his suite, game 6,
Right.
Stanley Cup playoffs, and he never wears a jersey. So I'm like, I'm going to go buy this guy a jersey and give it to him. Well, I sneak into his suite. I was the suite next to him. And I open the door and he's got 2 security guards there. And they're like, they hold me back. They're like, hey, what are you doing? And I kind of pushed through him. I said, I got to give John his jersey. And they're like, do you know John? I said, fuck yeah, I know John. And I just walked right past him. And I was so confident and sure that they were like, oh, this guy's got to know him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
You bought a jersey for him.
yeah. So I go there and I talk to him. He takes some pictures with me and signs a puck for me and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool.
That's some legendary stuff, man.
Yeah, I signed it, Brad the Floor Guy, because he gives his autograph out 100 times a day. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give him my autograph.
Man.
So
Did you get his cell phone number and everything? Or?
No, he actually left the jersey behind.
Oh.
So I watched him walk out and he didn't have it with him. So,
Oh, geez.
but still, it was cool. I got some pictures with it.
Yeah, man. Good branding, good marketing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I first met you, Brad, like 5 years ago at one of the local meetup groups.
Yep.
That you said you're just telling us that's really where you got started, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So just a little backstory about myself. I been in the flooring industry since I was about 17 years old.
Okay.
You know, high school dropout. School was never my thing. Kids stay in school. But just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Dropped out when I was, still considered a freshman, but I pretty much dropped out my sophomore year.
Okay.
Got into drugs real bad. My entire life I was, actively using, started with pot, progressed to other things.
Yeah.
When I was probably about 16, got hooked on pills, Xanax, Oxycontin, things like that. And then from there, it progressed to, heroin and other things. So I had an active heroin addiction for many, many years. I fought a battle every day, wanted to get clean, just didn't have the tools or, didn't think I had the willpower to do so. I was out there being an active addict, and the law caught up with me, and had to do some jail time, which was literally the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life.
Wow.
I spent about 10 months in county jail. Don't regret a day of it. I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't trade what I went through for the world. It showed me where I wanted to be in life and where I never want to go back.
Did you get that perspective years later or while you were locked up?
The light bulb that really went off in my head was, I was at like breakfast one day and, in county jail, and this guy next to me is talking about how he shot some guy and the guy wrote a statement on him. And he wishes the guy would just keep it in the streets and try to shoot him. And then the other kid next to me is talking about how he robbed his grandma. It's 7:00 in the morning, and these guys are just, telling all these stories. And I was like, I deserve to be here because I broke the law, but this isn't my purpose in life. I have a bigger purpose in life.
How old were you then?
Oh, I was about 23 when at this time. So, 23, young shithead. And then, I just, like I said, I went through a drug treatment program in county jail. I'd go back as a guest speaker, probably about every 3 or 4 months.
Oh, wow.
Share my story with them, let them know that it's possible to recover and, try
succeed too.
and succeed.
Yeah.
I really focus on the success with recovery, not like the success financially,
Okay, sure.
You really have to have the one before you could get the other,
Okay, sure.
Relapse are very common after people get out of treatment, so I just go there and try to share my story to maybe change one life, just
Worth
one
it.
person. I go there all the time, probably
Yeah.
spoke in front of them 25 times, just share my story with them and let them know it's possible.
That's really powerful stuff, dude.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing
awesome.
that, man.
Yeah. So stopped using, obviously got out of jail. One thing that stuck with me, and people can use this with everything in life, my mom told me, she goes, if you dedicate a fraction of the time and energy you spent using and seeking drugs into being successful, you'll be the most successful person I know.
Wow.
And those words always stuck with me.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I started thinking one day in county jail, like how much time I really spent, finding money for drugs, sourcing them, waiting for him. I'll be there in 5 minutes. An hour later, he's not there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I dedicate, that time into being successful, I'll be super successful.
Mm-hmm.
So, before I got arrested, or before I became like a bad at end of drugs, I was doing flooring. I made like 20, 25 bucks an hour at 20 years old, 18 years old.
That's pretty good
That's
money.
pretty good.
That's
Yeah.
super good money. So when I got out of jail, I burned a lot of bridges. When I got out of jail, I just called everyone I knew and begged them for a job.
Yeah.
I went to work for 13 bucks an hour. Okay. Shortly after that, I became an electrician for a couple of years. I made 12, 13 bucks an hour doing that, went through an apprenticeship program and went through the schooling and stuff like that. So, I was an electrician for about 2 years briefly after I got out of jail. And, I got laid off and, I never looked at the electrical like it was my bread and butter. I didn't even cash my paychecks. The office called me and was like wondering like, hey, are you going to even pick these paychecks up? I did so much flooring side jobs that I used that's the money I lived on, So I ended up getting laid off as an electrician. I was like, you know what? I got all this side work doing flooring. Might take a little stab at it.
Sure.
Everyone told me I was crazy. They're like, you can make 60 grand a year as an electrician with benefits and this and that. Yeah.
Well, but how much money were you making on the side? And
I was
dedicated everything to it.
Yeah, I was making $1,000, $1,500 a week, but I was working nights and weekends like crazy. I had no personal life whatsoever. I had my son, and that was it. I worked. So finally, after I got laid off the last time, I was like, I'm just going to take a stab at this, Sure. So I went out and, no one handed me the keys to anything. I spent every dollar I had on equipment. I worked out of a little S10 pickup truck. I would get done as an electrician at 4:00. I'd go home, eat real quick, load my tools up and go work until midnight, 3 a.m. Just depends. So I did that forever, and finally once I got laid off, I was like, I'm just going to take a stab at this. And it just hit off. It just, grew. And I literally every day, like I said before, my biggest skill is networking, like I just go out there every day and, I might get 100 no's, but I'm going to get a yes,
I mean, it seems like you've grown your business totally by word of mouth, right?
I'd say 95% of our jobs is word of mouth or me just out there like grinding, trying to, our marketing budget's so low. It's $500 a month.
Yeah.
Smokes,
that's what we spend on marketing.
What kind of marketing are you doing?
We do Google AdWords.
Okay.
Yeah. So, we have like 240 5-star Google reviews. So we market with them. We have like 3 keywords and just refinishing, hardwood refinishing. And then there's another one, but we just focus on that and we get a lot of leads from that. but generically is where we get most of our business.
And I mean, you are always on Facebook soliciting yourself to every investor who's showing off they got a property with some hardwoods.
Yep.
And I love it, man.
So
Jake's always said you would make the best dispositions manager
Yeah.
for somebody because you know every investor
that's
in
my
town.
secret. That's my secret. I was going to talk to you about that. Yeah, if anybody has a house,
What's it pay?
they want us. Well, we can work that out. But yeah, if anybody has a house in St. Louis they need to sell, just go ahead and contact.
Yeah,
Brad
you know
Evans.
all the rehabbers, man.
Yeah, I know a lot of people, and you know, I appreciate everybody, and you know, people, you know, spread my name around a lot, and you know, it's a funny story. My operations manager was telling me the other day that I didn't even know. I do work for this. He's a property manager, but he also rehabs a lot of houses too.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I didn't remember this until he told me, but he said, he goes, you know why I started using Brad? This is telling my operations manager. He goes, no, why? He goes, well, I posted something about needing a plumber, and Brad saw the picture that needed hardwood, and he messages me and he goes, hey, who's going to do your hardwood? And I've probably done 30 jobs for that guy since.
That's
you know,
awesome,
Yeah, that question's got you a lot of business. But I remember I was doing a Facebook Live when I was first wholesaling, and you're like, "Look at them hardwoods."
Yeah.
Hardwoods. I was
Yeah.
like, who's this guy, Brad Evans?
yeah. If I see it, I just have to. I can't resist. You know. So
this dude loves hardwood floors.
yeah, it's my passion. Literally, I love hardwood floors. It's the only thing that I've ever done that I was good at. You know, like I wasn't good at baseball, wasn't good at basketball. You know, I wasn't good at anything in life, and hardwood was one thing I was good at.
So when you started, it was just you.
Yeah.
You and your truck. So
Mhm.
you said it was about, what, 5-6 years ago, you said?
No, I started probably about 8 years
Okay.
ago, you know,
Okay.
maybe almost 9, just doing it by myself on the side.
Okay.
You know, about 7 years ago, I brought on 2 employees, and, you know, business is a roller coaster. You know, sometimes you see where you're at and you have to pull back. You know, at the beginning, a year in, I got 6 guys, and I got back down to 2.
Mm.
Second year, I got to 16 guys, went back to 6. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
been a push forward,
Yeah.
pull back, push forward, pull back. You got to find that happy medium to where you can still maintain the jobs, communication, and stuff like that.
Yeah, when you grow really rapidly, then a lot of problems come with it too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got a pretty built out team right now, and you got a fleet of vehicles and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
that progression that you've gone, like, have you had any mentors to help you build this out, or is this all by trial by fire and just kind of figure out as you go?
I'm the guy that has to learn the hard way, you know, and I've learned the hard way so many times.
Okay.
I've had mentors, you know, a good friend of mine that I started off with, he's like 67 years old.
Mhm.
He is phenomenal at what he does, but he's horrible at a lot of other aspects. So I've kind of looked at him over the last 20 years, and I've sat there and been like, okay, well, he does XYZ great, but ABC does horrible.
Sure.
You know, so I've tried to like plug those in and get to where he's lacking, like paying taxes. You know,
Yeah.
I hired a great accountant.
That's a heck of
you
a
know?
thing to lack at.
Yeah. I mean, I hired a great accountant. They don't play in the gray. They're black and white. They see one color and that's it. And, you know, so we don't have that issue,
Yeah,
you
it keeps
know?
you safe.
Yeah.
So how many guys you got on your crews now?
There's 35 of us now.
Wow.
And that's including me.
Man.
Yeah.
So this is a real estate investing podcast. We've talked a lot about flooring and stuff like that, which is a huge part of, you know, if you have a rental property, you need to get that done. But you've built this business, and we haven't really talked about the success that we talked about it, but like you're very successful in this business. What made you say like, oh, I think I want to start owning rental properties?
An investor that I was doing work for.
Yeah.
He was just like, hey, when are you going to buy a rental? When are you going to start investing?
Yeah.
Is it that easy with you? You're just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
And I looked at him, I go, when you going to sell me one? So I got in, I told you before the meeting, but I got in with like a small $6,000 investment on an owner finance deal.
That was
Where
your first
That
one?
was the first one.
That was my first one.
Oh, okay.
Yep, got my feet wet. I must have had 25 people tell me how stupid I was for buying this fluorescent rental. Who wants to be up in fluorescent? Oh, that's all I heard, you know. And I cash flow a lot of money off that property. Actually, I cash flowed almost what my mortgage on my personal house was.
Oh, wow.
I would cash flow that amount. On an initial, I was out of pocket $6,000.
That's not bad
That's
at
so
all,
much
man.
fun when you start looking at your properties like, well, this is my mortgage fund. This is
This
my
is my truck
vehicle
payment.
fund.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen what the house has appreciated to since you bought it? You have
You know
equity?
what? I haven't. I'm sure I have equity in it, but I haven't looked
You
at
don't
it.
care about that kind
No,
of thing?
no. I look at the cash flow. So everybody's different, I guess, in investing. Some people are like, look at the equity and this and that. I'm more looking at the cash flow.
Yeah.
What do I make off these properties every month? Profit after everything.
Yeah.
Some of them I have tied into property management companies, and some of them I self-manage.
Well, you got to be doing pretty good. You said you've got 10 that are free and clear now.
Yeah, but that's including my personal house
Yeah.
and one I just bought that's not ready, and then one needs a septic system. So
Yeah.
I have 7 occupied rentals that are cash flowing. They're producing.
Man, that's great. I mean, we're leveraging everything with what we do. We're doing the Burr method. So
Yeah.
eventually down the road, we want to have a dozen or so of those free and clear. But man, to have that much cash flow early on, man, that you can really stack some capital up, that's powerful, man.
I'm the guy that I know that that I need a plan for the future. No one ever knows what it's going to bring, So when I get 30, 40 grand, that's when I try to go an extra 30, 40 grand. That's when I'll just go pay cash for a rental, And this year I plan on buying about 3 or 4 additional ones.
Yeah.
And then just growing every year, So
What are we trying to build that portfolio up to?
I don't know what the magic number is. My magic number in flooring's changed probably 10 times.
Yeah.
And every time I reach that goal, I'm like, nah, it's not good enough.
Yeah, you're not even 40 yet, are you?
I'm 35.
You're 35. Yeah, dude, you got a long way to retirement. I assume you're the kind of guy that doesn't like to just sit still.
No,
you like to keep rolling. So,
yeah. And I, whenever I think of something, I might act too quickly. I don't think about stuff and like really put pen to paper and overanalyze things. If I think about something, I jump on it.
Yeah, like just hopping on a plane to Boston and buying tickets to Stanley Cup Finals.
Going to Game 7, baby, literally sitting at lunch and just, very spontaneous, So, but yeah, I mean, I'd probably like to have, a comfortable number for me would be about $200K a year.
Okay,
so whatever
passive income from
yeah.
your business or from your
just
rentals.
the rentals.
Yeah.
Just the rentals. My goal is to kind of pass the flooring company on to my son. He's 16. He's very intelligent.
And he's been working with you for a while.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I think I met him at Debbie, didn't I? Wasn't he there?
I think he was. He did show up at one of her
The
houses.
vinyl, was it vinyl install? He didn't do
No,
sand and finish.
It was hardwoods.
Yeah, we did hardwoods.
It was a kid though.
Was it nail down or like a new install?
No, just a refinish.
Oh yeah, he didn't.
That wasn't him.
He didn't do refinishing this year, but he's super smart. He gets the best of both worlds. So he's got like the hands-on skills, but he also has the book smarts.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm not book smart. I just can't sit there and read a book and stay focused.
Yeah, that's something like you kind of develop early on in childhood.
Yeah.
Parents kind of encourage you to do that kind of thing. So it sounds like you may have done a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he's super awesome. And so hopefully one day, and I think he's very, he's super interested in the business side of things, so hopefully he'll want to take it over and I could just kind of pass that on to him and, not tomorrow. And I always have a part in it because it's my baby. I grew it from the ground up. No one helped me. I didn't get a super big loan. Some guys in the flooring industry, I remember I was at a flooring supplier and every year they have like a open house.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 20% off. Right. I'm looking at how much I got in the bank and I'm like, I'm going to spend every dollar. All right. If I could save 20%, I'm going broke today, So I go through and I got a guy with me with the clipboard. I'm like, I'll take 500 of those, 1,000 of those. And I'm just pointing. And then after I left, there was a couple flooring guys that got together and they're like, did you see Brad just bah, bah, bah? And he's like, yeah, I would do the same if I got a big inheritance when I was a kid. And then it was like, oh no, I heard he's got a big money backer. And it's like, never had that.
No, I'm just dead broke, guys.
Yeah. I literally and reinvested every dollar I've ever had back into the business. I do fun stuff, but I live a modest life.
I think we were just talking about this the other day. It's a shame, like so many people think that most entrepreneurs and business owners like had everything handed to them, or that's why I love hearing a story like yours. I mean, you started with nothing.
Yeah. I lived in my mom's house.
Yeah.
27 years old. I lived at my mom's house, started a business. You know, my mom didn't loan me money. Don't have a trust fund. You know, like I literally, if I got paid $5,000 on a job and I profited $3,000, I took the 3,000. I might take $300 to live on, and I reinvested the rest of it back into the business.
And I mean, I don't know why the schooling system won't encourage more kids to go out and learn a skill, because look what you did. I mean, like you said, you loved it.
Yeah.
You're great at it, and you turned it into a whole business. And I mean, you're just on the operation side now, right? You don't really.
Yeah, I don't perform. I don't actually go on the job site and actually do work anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I have an operations manager, office manager, warehouse manager. You know, we're a bigger outfit. So right now, this way I explain it, I kind of like, I go out there, put people on the bus, my guys drop them off.
Yeah.
You know, like once I bring them in, my guys see the project through. We have a full-time quality control guy, goes by every single job, make sure that that every job is the way it needs to be.
On a standard.
Yep. And then you know, I just go out there and get more jobs.
Didn't you do Ozzie Smith's house?
Yes.
How did you land that? I always want to ask you that. How did you get that?
You know what?
PPC?
What was that?
Google pay-per-click?
No. It was actually a guy that we had done a job for. Like he was there painting, and he saw the floors. He's like, I didn't think you were going to be able to save these. These are great, and blah blah blah. He was doing painting over at Ozzie's, and Ozzie mentioned, I need my floors refinished. He's like, I got a guy.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, I got to meet the wizard.
That's awesome.
That's
man.
really cool, dude.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that comes to mind is that, you know, we talk about the Burr method and everything, that the strategies to get real estate and everything, but like what you did to start your business, and really honestly, you did something different when it comes to buying your first rental, because that was owner finance. It was just tenacity and grit, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Like you had no money, but that didn't stop you. You were just like, I'm just going to hammer it. I'm going to grind, and I'm just going to get the job done and do whatever it takes to make myself successful. And like, that's really cool, because a lot of people, I think, in our industry, they think they have to have some sort of like secret strategy or something like that. It's just like, if you just decide to move forward with something and just be smart about it as you go, or not smart about it, depending on how you and learn from your mistakes, like you can be successful, but you have to be patient.
And you have to grind.
Yeah.
Okay. You have to outwork the other guy. You know, you can't just expect things to fall into your lap.
Especially in the flooring industry, because that's an established industry, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like it's kind of like heating and cooling. There's like a few main players. And like, if you want to get in there, like how did you said you kind of charge lower prices off the set.
Yeah.
Is that to be competitive and to?
That was just to really undercut the industry and get my name in there. I'm not even going to
I
lie.
wasn't going to say that.
I undercut so much, man. I didn't even care. You know, I'm like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to work for peanuts to prove myself.
Well, you had no overhead.
I had no overhead. I lived at my mom's house.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't pay rent, you know. So right now, obviously, we aren't the cheapest guy out there. I don't compete with the one-man show. I don't compete with the guy that's going to come out and do the bid and then say he's going to be there whatever day and start refinishing.
You can't. You got more people. Yeah.
I have more people. But I can tell you this, that I've never once walked away from a job. My guys don't bat 1,000. No one does. Okay. But I won't leave a job until it's right. You know, I'll spend whatever it costs. I'll write checks. It doesn't make a difference. Like, we make everything right, you know? And I have guys in place to make sure that these are right. All my guys are well paid. They all have 401k match, which honestly, when I started the 401k match, I thought 5 guys would take advantage of it. You know, I'm like, these are flooring guys, man. They're not going to put into their retirement. You know, every single one of them takes advantage of it. You know,
well, that's good. You got smarter guys than you thought.
Yeah. And then, you know, I pay for their health insurance and stuff like that. So, you know, our overhead's a little bit more, but you get more with us than you do with just the guy that's out there doing the estimate, doing the work. And then, you know, you might not hear, you know how many times a month I hear my flooring guy started and never showed back up, or my flooring guy gave us a bid and was supposed to start today and is not answering the phone. Like, it's 3-4 a week or a month. We get that.
Yeah. I mean, we talked, you mentioned the hustle and the grind mode, and like, that's kind of like a glorified term when real estate investing. People think that's sexy, you know, and you got to do what you got to do. in short sprints until you can get established.
Yeah.
Like, now, I mean, you could have stayed in the hustle and grind mode and kept all the profit for yourself and remained that one man show.
Yeah.
But you've been smart enough early on at a young age to delegate out everything where you were true business owner mode.
Yeah. I stopped, working for the business, probably about 3 years ago and started running the business.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
A good friend of mine, very successful in business, told me the only way to grow a business is to give up some control. I'm a control freak. This right here, the business I started, it's my baby.
Your name's on everything.
Yeah. So for me to give up some control was
That's tough.
like a big step for me.
Yeah.
You sure your son's ever going to get that business from you?
I will be micromanaging that in the retirement home. Like I just have to. I still look at everything in the big picture and the small pictures, but pretty much you have to go out there and grind. And no one can expect to be a real estate investor tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You might have to work your 9 to 5, do it on the side, and you might have to come home at 10 o'clock at night. I mean, you have to make sacrifice.
I think you have to start with where you're at.
Yeah.
No matter where that is.
Yeah.
And you might be starting from just coming out of county jail, or you might be starting with like, I have a good 9 to 5, make 60 grand a year, but I want to do something else, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. And the investor, real estate investing, in the last really like 6 years from when I started has just,
it's changed.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be a real estate investor.
Yep.
And I don't knock it. Like, go out there and, I know guys that have invested in real estate and to be honest, they don't know what they're doing, and I feel bad. They lose money on projects and they're in over their head. And, it's like, maybe you need to pull back a little, and really analyze,
I mean, there's nothing wrong. There's plenty of deals to go around for everybody. And I love the competition, but you see people making mistakes or taking bad advice and
overpaying by a lot.
Yeah, that's the
on
biggest problem.
Yeah. So I mean, that's my biggest struggle right now. I've been looking for a house in Oakville for some time now.
Oh, to live in for rehab.
Personal house to live in.
We might have one for you.
Yeah.
Really?
How big of a house you want?
It's probably like 2,500 or
might not be good enough for you then.
Yeah. It's my
finished basement.
That doesn't need to be. I can finish it myself.
Well, it might be 2,500 with the finished basement.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. I've been looking for forever.
Yeah.
18 months for a house, and in that area, there's right now there's 26 available properties that aren't contingent, and they're just all overpriced.
So we're buying this house in Oakville, and the owners had to find where they're going. They're staying in Oakville. And we're looking on the market, like there's nothing active. There's like, I think there were 6 properties the one we looked at it.
Yeah.
So.
And they're like super specific on what they were looking for too. So it's like, if something does pop up, likely not going to be what they want.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty specific too, because, I want what I want, and if I can't, I want a gut rehab that I can make what I want, but I want to get it at that right price, so
it's tough buyer's market out there, man.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
You want to look for your next rental or?
Yeah. I'm all over the board where I buy, currently. Right now, I'm kind of like, I'd like to stay in Jefferson County,
Sure. Because that's kind of central where you are at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Our office is in Sunset Hills,
You don't want any more Florissant rentals?
It's 46 minutes from my house to get up to Florissant,
Yeah. Well, I mean, a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, you could buy a house up there for 40, 50 grand all day.
Oh yeah.
And now it's like 80, 90, 100.
It's retarded. Yeah. I honestly contemplate sometimes like maybe I just liquidate my portfolio right now.
Yeah.
Because it'd be the time to sell. I could retail a lot of these properties, liquidate it, sit on the cash. I mean, let's face it. I mean,
and buy some Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, no. God, no. That's
sorry to throw you off.
I've followed the Bitcoin for so long, and I've never invested $1 because I just don't see how it's worth anything. It's made up, Like I just don't get it. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah,
But
it's
I mean, invest in what you know, right?
Yeah.
Like we know houses, we know real estate.
yeah.
So, and that's a good segue. So, how do you know, or how do you evaluate a rental property? Like, okay, these are hitting my numbers. Like, what are Brad Evans' numbers?
I have the most unconventional.
I knew it. I wanted to hear it.
Does it have hardwood?
Sell him a house while he's at Vegas at the craps table. He'll buy it from you.
I bought 2 properties sight unseen while in Vegas. Docu-signed. One was on an airplane and one was at the craps table.
That's awesome.
I've rehabbed also probably about 6 houses. Okay. Everyone's going to hate me for saying this. I've never walked in and made a budget. Never once.
Do not take advice from Brad Evans.
Do not take advice from me. I went through and I go, this is going to cost $1,000. That's $1,500. Floors $2,000, and I just get a number in my head, and I make it work.
I mean, do you just think like the purchase price, like, okay, that's a deal to me, and I'll figure it out.
Yeah. I look at the ARV and then make sure that I got a good. Honestly, I bought a property from Craig Smith, and I love Craig Smith.
Yeah.
Craig, and he's one of the most honest people in the industry. Okay, and if he tells me something, I could take that to the bank.
Yeah.
It goes without saying. Craig sold me a property on Itasca, and he was like, "We want $114,000 for it, but I think you can get $175 for it." So $175 was the number I was shooting for.
Yeah.
Ended up going in there, and it needed like minor cosmetic, kitchen, bath, glaze the tub, put a new toilet in, vanity,
basics.
Yeah, hardwood floors, cabinets, and granite. It was pretty simple. I think I was in for like $20,000 or something like that as far as the rehab.
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got 134, maybe 140 in this property.
Yeah.
The neighbor's house, right before I was literally doing a punch list. The neighbor's house sold for like $205.
Oh wow!
Literally the exact same layout,
Right?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, if they sold theirs for $200 first day, you would have think there was a carnival going on because there was 150 people showed up to the open house.
Yeah.
My uncle's out there painting, and we didn't have a listing agent at this time, And my uncle's outside, and he's seeing all these sad people walking by. They didn't get the house. And my uncle's like, ours will be hitting the market in a couple of weeks. You want to come take a look?
Yeah.
So we got this guy. We nabbed him at a 195.
Nice.
And he got a deal, because our house was nicer than the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
But I was like, if we could do this with before
agents.
we're even done,
Yeah.
get a contract on it, let them pick out like the light fixtures and stuff, like we're golden.
So you sold it before you even completed the rehab?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Well, we had a contract on it before we completed it.
Nice.
So we did super well on that one.
No agents involved at all.
No, they had a buyer's agent.
So you
Yeah.
just paid 2.7.
2.7 to him. Yeah.
That's cheap.
I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine
Super cheap.
with all your crews, you can control your rehab pretty.
All my guys are like, I got a guy that was in the roofing industry for
Yeah,
years. Plus, my best friend owns a roofing company. Matt Halsey Roofing.
Yeah.
But
I used to play baseball with Matt back in the day.
did you really?
Yeah.
He could play baseball?
He was pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, his dad was their coach, man.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time was your coach.
Yeah.
Wow. Did he yell at you?
Sometimes.
Did he yell at you?
I'm just kidding. I love Big Time.
So tangent, quick story, but Mr. Halsey, so this was like 98 and McGuire was big.
Yeah.
Everybody thought he was Mark McGuire.
Oh,
Like,
Big Time, yeah.
everywhere he went, like, that's Big Mac.
That's Big Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tom does real estate investing as well. So
Yeah.
he owns a large commercial portfolio. Actually, get a lot of advice from him. Super smart guy.
Cool.
But we got off topic. What were we talking about?
Rehab, all the guys.
yeah.
All
So
the crews,
my numbers on rentals are, I don't really look at the return on investment. Like I talked to you earlier, I'm like 16.5 with one of my rentals.
That's his all-in number.
That's my all-in number. 16.5 on a 2-bed, 1-bath, and that's after I put floors in there, vanity, kept the cabinets, painted them.
Yeah.
It's a cute little 2-bed house in Hazelwood. It rents for $8.25.
Nice.
I have a property management company, so they take $82.50 a month. taxes, insurance, whatever. So, I mean, I cash flow a good amount of money on that property.
Hell yeah.
I don't even know I don't know how to figure out the formula on a return on investment.
I mean, you can, but if the money that's hitting your bank account is great, then who cares?
We'll help you out once we get done with this.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out for you.
But for me, I'm like, I'm 16 grand on a property. I profit $575 a month.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're doing pretty well.
Plus I have the house and it has equity, so I'm so unconventional. I will say this though, did a property, and Lindbergh school districts, and super cute house, man, horrible layout.
Was this a flip you did or
flip? Yeah. Super cute. I saw the potential. This was MLS. Okay, we went in, lowballed them, met halfway, and no one could see the vision with this property. Right? You walk in, and it's like a living room. You don't even see the kitchen. You have to walk through this like funky hallway through like a 3-foot doorway to see the kitchen. It was like a galley kitchen. It was horrible. So I'm like, we'll just wipe this wall out. We'll just do this. And then, I never really got like the understanding on dealing with South County with permits,
and engineers,
structural engineers.
Yeah.
So once I get in there and I'm like, oh, I need a structural engineer to draw up how to support this load bearing wall, and I'm getting ready to remove. I'm like, you laminate two 2x10s together with a 3/8 piece of 3/8 piece of plywood in between. You span it across. You got two king studs and a jack stud. I got it all figured out in my head. I don't need an architect or an engineer.
Well, we're gonna need a drawing for that.
Yeah. So I'm $1,700 into the engineer, all this stuff, and then there were some other structural issues with the property. I lost 17 grand.
Damn.
I bought it with, I used private money. I've dealt with Faster House, Faster Lending.
That's who we use. Yep.
Yeah. And they were great, worked with us. Rehab took way longer.
Yeah.
The flooring's my bread and butter.
Yeah.
Right. So if I'm going to, I would rather put the property on the back burner than the flooring business on the back burner.
Sure.
So
you let it sit for a little while.
Yeah, let it sit for a little while. Kept pulling guys off to do,
sure,
to do the flooring business. But I lost 17 grand.
Yeah.
And that's a sting. I've had some home runs. I've had quite a few home runs. I signed a contract in Webster Groves on a sick house. Sold to my buddy John Morgan.
Okay.
And I made a nice.
So you've done a little wholesaling too.
Yeah.
Just
I knew you'd be a good
referral deals.
I knew it. We were talking to.
Well, see, I was like, I went in there, I locked up the deal. The lady loved me.
Yeah.
So many people had walked through and made offers, but this lady was worried about her stuff. And I go, you worried about your stuff? You're going to a nursing home? I go, I'll get you a storage locker. I'll move it for you. She's like, how am I going to do this? 85 years old. How am I going to move all this stuff? I'm like, I'll send my guys over. We'll box it all up, move it to a storage locker for you. You leave whatever you want. I'll throw in the dumpster. So
you're a hero.
I locked up this deal, and it was a great commission day. Everybody else that went in there was just like, oh, they couldn't give her solutions. And she wanted a solution for her issue.
How'd you get the deal? Was it a referral or?
It was somebody my uncle knew. Yeah. And we just we went in there, and she wanted what she owed on it. She had a reverse mortgage and just wanted out.
So there's so many people that are trying to get into wholesaling, and you just
stumble across
in Webster Groves of all places.
I literally didn't even try. And the thing is I know everybody.
Yeah.
And it's like, I make Facebook posts about buying real estate. It might not be you guys that I buy a property from. It might be a lady I went to high school with, which I bought 3 properties from her mother, and I paid $13,500 for them. One was a nice house in Normandy.
Yeah.
It was bundled in with a package. I'm all in that Normandy house for $20,000, and it rents for $850 a month.
Nice.
That cash flows.
So, but realistically, with like that property, I had a home run on that one, but I've lost some too, and I've let some of my rentals sit, like I'm not the real estate investing guy that stays focused on real estate investing.
Well, like you said before, like you have your main business, this Evans Flooring, that's paying for your lifestyle right now and everything like that. And real estate is a long game for you.
It's a long play.
I mean, I'd say it's a hobby for you, but you've got so much passive income from those 10 free and clear properties.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm scared to ask you, do you even know what your monthly net is on your cash flow?
I have no clue.
Does your accountant know?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
I could email her and she would let me know what it is in minutes. I'm not the smartest guy, but I make sure I surround myself with, if I lack in a department, I make sure I get it.
I think you're pretty smart.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm smart in a lot of ways, but numbers and, things like that, as far as like cash flow and stuff like that, I've kind of like thought in my head, but I don't know the real number, probably like $3,000 a month on passive income.
I think it's more.
You gotta be doing better.
Yeah, I think you're doing better. I actually think you're doing better.
I don't know. Like after taxes, property management and insurance and stuff like that. Yeah. 7 of them are occupied.
Yeah.
I think you should dig into it and you'd be surprised.
Next episode.
And let us know.
Next episode.
Let us know in the next.
Maybe
you're going to come back in here next time and you're like, guys, I got the spreadsheet.
I got a 21%.
I sold my business. I didn't realize what was missing. My son has it. He's 17 now.
Yeah.
Well, Brad, I had a couple questions I wanted to get in here. So, I mean, what's working well for you in your business right now, and what's your biggest struggle?
Ooh, the flooring business?
Yeah.
Okay. So, obviously we've had growing pains.
Yeah.
Okay. With growing pains, you got to figure out processes and procedures for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Someone isn't happy about something, someone fields that call, who do they hand it off to? You know what I'm saying? So what we're trying to do now is really focus on our communication.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We don't lack in quality. We lack in communication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's something we struggle with.
Yeah.
All right. We have anywhere from 12 to 15 active jobs a day. Okay. With those, the weather, we had to push a lot of people off. We gave them a good heads up saying, hey, with the weather the way it was this week, we didn't have guys work for a couple of days. Yeah. So we need to push it back a couple of days, so we're getting better with the communication side of things. Okay. We've had a lot of people, kind of hammer us on, you guys are great at flooring, but you're horrible at communication, and I lose sleep over this kind of stuff at night. I'm the business owner, I mean, everyone sees that I haven't been in the office yet today, and that's all people see. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, he hasn't even been in the office today. Well, they don't see that I've been on Facebook, bird dogging, messaging people trying to say, hey, who's doing your floors, or that I'm out there grinding all day, every day. And it doesn't stop.
Business.
I had a guy message me at 12 o'clock, friend request me at 12 o'clock last night, message me and say, hey, I need floors, 4 rooms done at such and such midnight on Thursday night. You know what I do? I respond. 1 o'clock in the morning, want to schedule a job? I got you, baby. I don't care. I'm 24/7 like 7-Eleven. Call me whenever. It involves money, I'm there. So, the communication is not our strong suit, but we're working on it. We're getting a lot better. Yeah. What's working for us now is, the quality, our guys' attitude. We have a great group of guys.
I imagine, that's got to be a struggle growing a team of 35 guys with different personalities. And
oh my God,
how much of it every day is just managing people?
It's quite a bit, so, you look at a company with all men, okay. Mm-hmm. Anywhere from 20 to 40. Okay. Yeah. All that testosterone, this guy ate my fruit snacks. It's like a daycare sometimes, so you have to find whose personalities fit with who. And we're constantly shuffling some things up. It's like brothers, I've got 4 brothers. I've thrown a hammer at my brother's head before. That doesn't mean I don't love the guy.
Yeah.
It's just I was sick of them that day.
Yeah, I understand.
So we have to kind of like, shuffle some things around. Once these two guys work together for so long, they start getting sick of each other.
Yep.
So we shuffle them around and make sure that, we can do that. But our quality is always there. I feel confident in our price point on a lot of things. Obviously there's guys that'll do it for 10% cheaper.
That's why, we still use you guys. You're very competitive. So,
Yeah.
And even for investors.
Yeah. And for,
and you're quick too.
Yeah. And, we pride ourselves on that, we don't leave a job to start someone else's. So if you're on the schedule for Tuesday, but Monday's job ran over into Tuesday, we have to finish Monday's job before we start yours. But that means we're not going to leave your job to go start Susie's job, because that's just how we operate, So with that, we just want to make sure that we focus on the job we're on and then move forward. But like I said, the quality's there, the price is there, especially for investors. Okay. Now, what other industry can you get like the price that I give for refinishing, which, is anywhere from $2 to $2.75 a square foot. Okay. Unless it's pine or like a pre-finished job or something like that. $2 for natural, like, dude, there's guys that do it themselves that can't charge that.
Yeah.
And they look at me like I'm stupid. Like they have no clue how I can do that for that price and still be profitable, paying my guys health insurance, 401k, Aflac, paying them good money, have nice equipment, nice vans, warehouse, all this stuff. And I'm still profitable because I buy in bulk, so they go and they buy 2 pieces of sandpaper, a gallon of poly, and this and that,
So this goes back to when you first started and you're like, I have a couple $100, I'm going to spend it all on all this stuff. And
my greatest story ever is I know the unit costs of everything in my business, down to a trash bag. Okay. Down to a 14 by 14 terry cloth rag. I know what per unit it costs me. I don't care if they come in a 72 pack or 114 pack. It doesn't make a difference. I want to know what each one cost. Okay. So what I do is I call around and I negotiate. Okay. I went into Home Depot probably 2 years ago. I was buying these Husky trash bags. Okay. And I go in there and I knew what I was paying. I was paying 54 cents a trash bag at my supplier. I went into Home Depot. I had just a number in my head. It was 22 cents. I was like, I want each trash bag for 22 cents. And I went in there and I go, how much do I have to buy to get it for 22 cents? I was like, you got a number. Like, I just need to know the number. And I gave him my contact info. I didn't even make it to the parking lot. He emails me and it was like $5,000 worth of trash bags.
Wow.
I was like,
send them my
you
way.
want me to give you my credit card number now? But I didn't look at it like I spent $5,000 on trash bags.
Yeah.
I looked at it like I saved $5,000 on trash bags. Now I still have some of those trash bags, but what's the shelf life on a trash bag?
I think it's long as long as you stay out of the light.
Yeah. So we try to make sure that, I go to Vegas every year. They didn't have it this year, but they have what's called like the flooring convention every year, surfaces,
Yeah.
And I go out there and I talk to different suppliers and I negotiate price and things like that. So
all your negotiations start with how much of this do I have to buy to get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got a number in your head. Like, I want the company to make money, but I'm buying it in one big bulk. They don't have to do 1,000 transactions to sell that.
Yep.
Like I would rather make 5% than no percent,
Sure.
So. That's a great tip for rehabbers too. If you're planning on doing 10 projects for the year and you can estimate, well, I'm going to do flooring and all those, like, go out.
We have guys that say, hey, I want to buy 5 pallets of this. And we'll just, they know that's the same engineered hardwood in each house, and they just buy it in bulk, So, that's kind of the key is once you can figure out that your buying power, you can really drive your costs down,
It's a pro tip right there. Do you have to consistently keep up that high volume to remain profitable? With running that many crews, or
what do you mean?
Like, well, is it like if we got to do 10 jobs this week to break even? It's like,
oh yeah. So our fixed cost, is pretty high. Okay. So that number doesn't change whether I have one guy working or 35 working. All right. My building, insurance, all the salaried guys, including myself. Like, what number is that? Okay. So we need to expand to 3 more trucks that produce X amount of revenue per week. And then those 3 trucks will essentially only cost us labor, material, and a van. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because everything else is absorbed with the crews that we have now. So once we start those other 3 crews, that's really when we'll take my account explained it like this. At some point in business, your revenue gets higher. Your profit either stays the same or gets lower. Because once you're doing more revenue, you have to hire more guys that are going to oversee these guys. You know,
your profit as a percentage, though, not necessarily the dollar amount.
Correct. Right? Yeah. So I was more profitable when I operated out of my house with 6 guys than I am now. You know, but it's a long-term play, you know? So realistically, you know, I had what we called the death trap van, you know, from 55 to 65, it would just shake like this. That was one of my first work vans. I didn't have the money to get something nice, you know, so my guys would complain about it. Just drive 67, you know, drive 67, don't wobble anymore, you know. So, you know, I had no
skip 55 to 65.
Just hurry up and get through it. You're good. So I had very low overhead. You know, I didn't have management. I didn't have office people. You know, I managed 2-3 jobs a day, you know, and the profit margins were crazy, you know. But now I have 7 or 6 non-producing employees with office, secretary, warehouse, quality control, estimator, operations, and me, you know. So
what's your vision for expanding then? Have you got to hire 3 new crews? Are you going to have to pump more marketing or?
Oh man, no, I get people call me every day.
I mean, you have that much of a backlog of job schedule?
Yeah. Retail customers right now, we raised our rates a little bit. We can't do all the jobs anyways. So, you know, we're like, the only way to create more revenue or create more profit is either do more jobs or raise your prices. You know, so for retail customers, we raise our prices a little bit, which still is competitive, you know?
Right. But like, so a retail versus an investor. So investor, the house is empty. You're not moving around and you're not dealing with other people's schedules other than other subcontractors and contractors. With the retail, you have to deal with like, okay, there's furniture that needs to be moved. There's house, like, there's life.
They want to see 43 different stain samples. They don't know what they want to go white, red, gray, brown, black. They have no clue. You know?
Pay a little more for that.
So, you know, and then they want to bring in their sister and then their mom, and there's 4 of them trying to decide on what color. And then they're like, well, we want to see something with this. You spend 2 hours.
Is that how Ozzy treated you?
Who?
Is that how Ozzy treated you?
Oh, no. Ozzy. Boy, he pulled triggers, dude. He knew exactly what he wanted.
Man, I got to move all these gold gloves somewhere.
You know what? I regret not asking him to see the gold glove. You know?
He used to have in his restaurant. I'm sure it's in some museum.
I think he had multiples.
You know, like 16. I think.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's got some sitting in his basement. You know. But
so did your retail business take a dip with Corona and everything?
No, nothing's taken a dip. We've expanded so much.
Really?
I mean, we're up, you know, 10% if not more from 2019.
I figure you have less people not wanting to let you through your house and everything.
More.
More retail. You guys are wearing masks anyways, aren't you, when you're running those machines? So.
You know what, man? I buy these masks for these guys, and then they don't wear them. I'm like, why don't you wear a mask? Like when I sanded floors, I wore a big mask.
Hope OSHA's not listening.
Who?
OSHA.
Oh, I don't care.
I used to work in the body shop, man.
What's that?
I used to work in the body shop, and you know, some old school guys would be sanding right down their face in there. They'd be painting with no respirator on. Like,
but they're smoking 3 packs of Marlboros a day. You know?
Swigging oil.
Exactly.
But well, Brad, this has been fun, man. You're 35. You got a successful business, growing your rental portfolio. What's the future goals for you, man?
Oh man, you know, I'd like to future goals, grow the flooring business. Like I said, the numbers changed every year. I'm gonna have 10 guys. I'm gonna have 20 guys. I'm gonna have 30 guys. Now I want 50.
Yeah.
50 guys out there, working for Evans. The rental portfolio, like I said, I want, 200K a year in passive income. That's after property management, taxes, insurance.
Sure. Yeah.
That's my number.
You got to figure out that cash flow number so you can figure
Yeah.
out how many
Yeah.
units you need to buy.
I'm gonna work on that.
He's like 90 years old. He finally figures out. Like,
Yeah. Light bulb
exactly.
goes off my head. But I want to grow the flooring business still.
Yeah.
We plan on, I wanted to last year open a second location, really start catering to selling product. There's a lot of markup in flooring product. And if I charged what normal people, other flooring companies charge for product, I would have a beach house on every coast. As much product as we sell, if we got their prices, I would have so much money. It'd be unreal. I'd have every color Lamborghini. I really would. I'd have to start mixing
in all
colors.
the models.
Yeah, I'd have to start mixing colors.
Yeah.
So I could charge a fraction of what other companies are charging. I did a job for a lady in Chesterfield. I went in there and she was going to buy the material for $9 a square foot from all surface. Okay, $9 a square foot for the material.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
I did the whole job for $950. Material, labor installed, reinstalled base, remove carpet, all that for $950. She paid 50 cents more a square foot to have me do the entire job.
And she's just going to do materials for $9.
Yeah.
Do you have like a price sheet? Like you just saved $5,000.
She knew. Yeah, she knew. Like legit, because I was like, I couldn't sleep at night if I charged someone that for material.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I just couldn't. There's a material sale is the easiest. I pick up a phone. I said, hey, I need 1,400 square feet of so and so. When will it be in? Bam. That's our easiest thing. Obviously, our showroom isn't. We only cater to our customers. We don't really try to market walk-ins. Yeah. So we treat our customers. We give them better pricing. It's a smaller showroom, but we got a lot of great products in there. So we just try to give them the best bang for the buck. We don't have the showroom to keep the lights on. Yeah.
Right. How about personal goals, man? I know you do a lot of traveling and you've done some missionary work in the past.
Yeah. Yeah. My life goal is to try to change, like I told you earlier. I don't know if we were on air or not, but I just want to change one person's life.
Yeah.
I want someone to be inspired by me, on whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm a very religious person. And my purpose in life isn't to be Brad the floor guy. You know what I'm saying? God,
it's just a vehicle for
exactly.
Yeah.
He gave me the tools to help try to change someone's life. That's really what I want to do.
I think one of our mentors told us recently, he's like, when I started making more money, it just made me think about how many more people I can help out.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes hand in hand. And, personal goals, I started hitting the gym a couple weeks ago.
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't even extend my arms out.
Getting swole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a pretty buff trainer. So
yeah. Joey DeFranco, man, he's in the hospital right now.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
It's rough.
I got to work out with him about 3 times and then he had to go hurt himself. So
selfish bastard.
Yeah. Yeah. Now he's going to be sitting for about 6 months. I think they say can't work out. So
going to lose all his gains, man.
Yeah. He's doing a lot better though. So,
that's good.
But yeah, I just had to get a personal trainer. I went a couple times by myself since then. So, and I love to travel, another little couple second story is, I went kind of crazy 2019, went on a lot of vacations. One of the investors that I deal with, older guy, we're walking up maybe 14, 15 steps. Midway through, he's got to take a break. And he goes, man, Brad, don't you want to save up some of that money you spent on them vacations for when you get my age? I said, dude, you can barely walk up the steps. Why would I, I plan for the future, obviously, and that's my goal, but I like to live life and experience life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why defer everything till when you can't
you gotta
get
have
around
a happy
anymore.
medium.
Yeah.
The addict in me it's hard for me to have balance. You know, when I get into something, I'm 150% in. Yeah. So, you know, once I get something and you know, like it, that becomes my next thing, you know? So.
Well, Brad, I think you've inspired a couple guys here today, man. You got an awesome story, and thanks for sharing with everybody. Where can everybody find out for all their flooring needs from Evans Flooring?
Brad will find you.
You don't have to worry after this. Anyone that views this will get a personal message from me.
At 1 a.m.
Yeah. No, I mean, you can go to our Facebook page. You can call our office, 314-722-3047. Call me anytime, 314-680-9949. You know, just reach out to us for any of your hardwood needs. You know, we specialize, like I said, in hardwood, refinishing, installs, engineered, laminates, vinyl, plank. So if you got a property, do me a favor. Before you tell me that a floor is not savable, let us come out and look at it. I would rather waste 30 minutes of my time before you tell me an original hardwood floor is not savable and you overlay it with laminate.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how many jobs I've been to in the last couple of years where someone's like, these are not savable. And I go, man, I can make these look brand new, you know, for what you would pay for just the material for a laminate floor, you know.
It's true. I've seen the magic.
Yeah, he's not lying.
So. All right, man. Thanks for doing this, Brad. It was a lot of fun.
I appreciate it, guys.
All right, buddy. Thanks.